Hey, how you guys doing? This is Rich from Rich TV Live. We were watching these markets and it looked like it was going to be a green day, but now we've dipped into the red. We have dipped into the red. We started green for the first 2 hours of the trading day, and now we have dipped again into the red. Yeah, well, I mean, we're barely red, but the global Dow is down 7%. Whoa, what's up with that? The global Dow is down almost 8%. That's really catching my attention. Oil's up 5%, which is good. But the global Dow down almost 8%, pretty much drawing this entire sector down. Well, the stock market's a war zone. We've been in a bull market for 11 years. So the bears have been getting decimated and squeezed for 11 years. So bears are totally wanting to come out as much as they can. And what happens is the big boys will switch from bull to bear in a heartbeat if they think they can make money on the way down. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, INO's going down. A lot of coronavirus stocks are down today. I think they all are, for the most part. Edgar says it was a technical move, but the fundamentals are out and it's only going to get worse. Richie Rich says we'll pump up end of day. Yeah, it seems to be falling and it seems to be falling fast though. Do you guys see the global Dow is now down 8%? I believe that's what's dragging down this entire sector right now. The global Dow down 8%? That's a big drop. Big drop. Kyokushin Trader says general panic is hitting the world. Yeah, I mean, everything is connected, right? So when you have an outbreak in Italy, you have an outbreak in China, you have quarantine and lockdowns in Italy and China, and then outbreaks happening all over the world. We're in a battle. We're in a serious, serious battle right now. The whole world is in a serious battle, not just with financial crisis, but with a virus that is potentially compromising people's health, and especially the elderly, anyone over 50, anyone whose immune system is compromised, anyone who has physical problems. And there's millions of people, billions of people all over the world that fall in that category. So this is a very scary situation. And obviously, it's a fluid situation that's changing by the second. That's why we started and we opened up so big this morning, and everybody talked about how we were green, and now here we are and we're red again. So I did predict a market melt up, and the market was melting up, and then the coronavirus hit. And I believe this coronavirus is bigger than what people believe. And some people believe that it's under control. Some people think it's not worse than an average cold. I've had this argument with many, many people that are studying to be doctors, and some of them are doctors, and everyone has their own opinion. But if it's bad enough to take down the market melt up, which was looked like nothing could stop it, and if it's bad enough to shut down soccer games in Italy, which is like religion, and if it's bad enough to lock down Italy, a country with 70 million people, and a couple cities in China with 60 million people, I don't think people do those things because of fake news. Richie Rich says, last 5 of 7 days, if you bought opposite what the SPY was doing, you would be right 5 out of 5, 5 out of the last 7 days. It's always easy to say after the fact what things are going to do. Nobody knew what the market was going to do today. A lot of people, including myself, thought the markets would be green because historically the markets are green after a red crash. And I put some of those statistics on Instagram where you can see that historically, after a massive drop like we've had, a massive crash, you will see that the markets have bounced back green. And historically, over time, the markets always go up. Historically, over time, the markets always go up. So every single time we've had a crash in the market, for all the doomsdays guys out there, look, we're starting to see some green again. It's fighting back. Look at this. The quantitative easing's kicking in. It's all computers and algorithms. So historically, if you look at the charts of the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Global Dow, you'll see that all it's ever done historically over time is go up. And every time it's gone down, yeah, it takes some time, but it effectively recovers and then goes higher. Yeah, the yield curve inverted a long time ago, and everyone was talking about the yield curve, but that had no effect on the markets. The market was going to continue to melt up regardless. It's the coronavirus that's affecting the markets. People are saying that stores are running out of toilet paper. People are stocking up on food. Travel now is starting to really take a hit. People are traveling way less. Cruise ships are taking a huge hit. Governments are telling people not to go on cruises. Airlines are taking massive losses. We have to consider the collateral damage. So yes, there will be injections of capital. There will be green days, there will be red days. But we need to consider everything. Everything is connected. The market is all knowing. Then you go and you have a Saudi Arabian move to cut the price of oil, slash prices, creating panic in the oil sector, which is deeply rooted in almost everything when it comes to money, especially the banking system. And the banking sector in Canada got hit hard when oil got hit hard. So everything is connected. And we have to recognize that this is a game. And just because all of a sudden we have a couple days down, everybody's now predicting crazy crash for the market and a crazy recession. But really, at the end of the day, we just went green again. So it's a war zone. And the Federal Reserve Bank can just continue to print money. There's no end in printing money. So if they need to continue to print money and just buy everything themselves, that's what they'll do. So just remember that the markets have been at all-time highs. And when you have a market like that, the shorters, the speculators, the analysts, they always want to be the first one to predict the crash. Well, who predicted the crash in the last 11 years? What crash? We haven't had a crash in the market. The market's been going up for 11 years in a row. Now the coronavirus hits. That's the reason why the market's crashing. It's not because of oil. It's because of the coronavirus. So there's going to be good days in fighting this virus, and there's going to be bad days in fighting this virus. People are going to live in their bubble and pretend like this doesn't matter. Some people are going to overreact. Some people are going to act like this doesn't have any effect on them at all. I've talked to lots of different people. Some people say that what I'm doing is wrong. Stop spreading fear. Stop spreading lies. Well, I watch everything. I watch the markets. I watch the updates on the coronavirus. I watch the gold sector, the oil sector, the global economy. I watch the US economy, the Canadian economy. And I believe that it does have an effect on everything. And I've been talking about it for 6 weeks now. For 6 weeks in a row, I've been talking about the coronavirus. When nobody was talking about the coronavirus, and people said I was nuts, said I was crazy, and I was talking about how I thought it would affect the market eventually, and how China was the largest economy in the world, and it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Because China's the largest economy in the world. So if the largest economy in the world is effectively in lockdown and spraying down their cities, disinfecting their cities, and people think that it's not serious. The Dow Jones is now back up 100 basis points. S&P 500's green, Nasdaq's green, but the global Dow is still down big. And I believe that is why the markets have been getting a lot of selling pressure. But as you can see, the quantitative easing's kicking in. And the prices are going higher. Steven says, I think we're just in the crossfire between Russia and Saudi Arabia, but it's not good for North America. No, it's not. But I don't believe this has anything to do with oil. I think this has all to do with the coronavirus. People are dying. Countries are in quarantine. There's a lot of very powerful Italians in the world, and there's Italians that are dying. There's a lot of powerful Chinese in the world. There's Chinese that are dying. This has an effect on everything. Whether you want to live in your bubble and pretend like it doesn't, or you want to pay attention to what's going on globally outside of your doors, you have the ability to do whatever you want. Everyone can do whatever they want. You know, I said that to someone yesterday and they got all angry at me because they were saying to me that I'm overreacting and I'm creating fear. And I said, well, I'm creating fear? So you're telling me that Italy is in lockdown because of me? You're telling me that soccer games in Italy are being played with no fans watching because of me? Some guy on YouTube who looks at the stock market and invests in the stock market and talks about what's going on a global scale. If there's a global outbreak and people are dying, I'm not allowed to talk about it. I shouldn't talk about it. I should just sweep it under the rug and pretend like it doesn't exist. We just had the first person in British Columbia die. I predicted before we had any deaths in Canada and the United States that we would have deaths in Canada, we'd have deaths in the States, and it would spread to 100 countries. I've been 100% correct. I was the first one ever to make those predictions in the world. Nobody else made those predictions that I know of. I know I did it publicly on YouTube before anybody else in the world. But yet, when I talk to people, and I'm talking lots of people, they act like it's no big deal. Like reportedly, there's 6% deaths out of 68,000 cases, which is 4,091 deaths, 64,750 recovered, 4,091 deaths out of 116,707 cases worldwide. And it just seems to me like that number just keeps getting bigger. And now, when I look at the numbers, I predicted 100 countries. We're now in 115 countries. This is everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. The death toll in China is 3,136. The death toll in Italy is 463. The death toll in Iran is 291. The death toll in South Korea is 54. The death toll in Spain is 35. The death toll in France is 27. The death toll in America is 27. The death toll in Japan is 10. The death toll in Switzerland is 3. The death toll in the UK is 6. The death toll in the Netherlands is 4. The death toll in Hong Kong is 3. The death toll in Australia is 3. The death toll in Canada is 1. The death toll in Iraq is 7. I mean, this wasn't like this before. Now it's everywhere. It's spreading. Do you see how it's spreading? Literally everywhere. 115 countries. That's the reason why the markets are down. Not because of oil. The oil has an effect on the market. Yes, it's a very terrible thing, but not like a global outbreak. It's not on the same level. Yes, it has an effect on the economy, a big effect on the economy. There's no doubt about it. I'm not denying that. But it's not on the same level. Apple and Microsoft help the Dow clamber back to positive territory. It's a war. We're going to probably be bouncing back between green and red all day. It's a war. Yesterday was the worst day. The worst one-day loss since 2008 crisis. I mean, that's historic. I don't think that has to do with oil. I think it has to do personally with the coronavirus. Because like coronavirus, like literally when you go to MarketWatch, coronavirus is the first headline. Look, airlines move to cut capacity and rein in costs as coronavirus effect intensifies. See that? And then the next headline in latest news is Inovio Pharmaceuticals, which has been dropping. Despite the fact that they're trying to help Americans with a vaccine. And then the very next one after that is Carnival Corp, which is taking a massive hit because people don't want to go. Well, they're actually green today, believe it or not. The coronavirus impact is really hitting the cruise lines. But interestingly, the cruise lines today are bouncing up. Interestingly, that's where it's almost like if you look at the chart of Carnival Corp, it's kind of funny. You guys want to see this? It's pretty nuts. You want to talk about quantitative easing? That looks like quantitative easing, doesn't it? You want to talk about pumping up a stock? Sure looks like a pump to me, right? See that drop? And then the big pump? Seems like somebody's pumping up Carnival Corp. Or are they buying the dip? I don't know, but something's up. What do you guys think? Something's up. Let's take a look at other stocks. I'm streaming this off of MarketWatch, guys. Let's take a look at Apple. Let's see if there's any serious moves in price action. Let's take a look at the airlines. Airlines obviously taking a hit too. You can see Delta did have a nice move initially, but they came back down, and now they're starting to climb back up, and they're coming back down. Wow. So you can see Delta is the lowest it's been in a year. So if you want to get into travel stocks, now is the time. Look at the headlines. See the headlines? Coronavirus update. First one, coronavirus update. Second one, Inovio Pharmaceuticals. Third one, Carnival Corp. Like the first three headlines are all coronavirus related. Look at the next headline. Airlines move to cut capacity and rein in costs as coronavirus effect intensifies. That's the first headline. Nobody's talking about oil. That's not the reason why the market's going down. Delta, American Airlines to reduce flights, Southwest CEO to take pay cut. Companies are doing everything they can to survive this crisis. But yet people start to pretend like it's not real. Airline rally slows as British Airways and Ryanair cancel Italy flights amid lockdown. Everything is connected, guys. Everything is connected. Everything is connected, but at the end of the day, the real issue is the coronavirus. That's the real issue. These are the real issues. This is the reason why the market's going down. Right here. Right there. That's the reason. Yo, what's up, Jeff? Thank you for sharing, bro. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like, how can you trust cruises and cruise ship stocks and airline stocks when we don't know how bad things are going to get? Because these numbers to me don't look like they're getting better. Look at the charts. I just want you to look at these charts and ask me, or tell me, do they look like they're getting better? Does it look like those lines are slowing down, or does it look like they're pointing straight up? That doesn't look to me like something that's slowing down. I read charts every day. Do those charts look like they're going down? Like there's no relative strength index on these charts. Like there's no, it's not signaling a selling opportunity. Like these graphs are pointing up. And that's the death graph, and that's the total cases graph. So we're headed to more cases and more deaths, whether we like it or not. And the market knows it. And that's why the market is acting like this. So people are coming out now and saying, Rich, you predicted a market melt up. You were wrong, Rich. No, I was right. The market did melt up. Then the coronavirus hit, and then the market now is under attack because the whole world is under attack. The whole world is under attack. So yeah, you can bring in quantitative easing, you can pump up the markets, but it's not going to change the fact that people are dying and people are suffering. It's not going to change that. So yes, the global economy can just print more money. They can give it to the people. They can stimulate whatever they want. It's printed, people. You think they can't print more? Believe me, they can and they will. Believe me. You think they can't forgive their own debt? They can do whatever they want. So don't even worry about that. They're just going to print more. So when you look at the markets, and I'm going to look at the markets, I'm going to prove it to you. You show me a time where the market sustained a long period down. Even the financial crisis, it wasn't down long. I'm going to prove it to you. Let's look at all time. Let's look at the all-time chart. Show me a time where the market sustained a long period of time where it was down. It never does. It goes down, and then it goes right back up. It goes down, and then it goes right back up. So technically, every time it's down, it's a buying opportunity. Every time it's down, it's a buying opportunity. So the last time it was really down for a long time and stayed down was 2009. It started in 2007, came down in 2009 to 7,000. And since then, it's just been screaming up nonstop. So a lot of people are predicting it's going to come down. Well, it's come down a little bit. Let's see if it stays down. I don't believe it will. I believe that every time it goes down, it's going to be a buying opportunity. There's too much money on the sidelines. There's quantitative easing. There's so many reasons why I believe that when it goes down, it'll just go back up. And clearly that's the case. Look, it's going up right now. They said they would make it go up. They said that they would stimulate the economy, and they are. So I have to believe that they always will stimulate the economy. When I start seeing that Warren Buffett says, hey, I'm selling, I'm getting the hell out of the market, then I'm going to be worried. But Warren Buffett ain't selling. So I follow the best. If Warren Buffett ain't selling, I ain't selling. So Warren Buffett's not selling. So I don't think there's any reason to worry. I believe it's literally just a buying opportunity. But, there are major issues at hand, and these are the real issues. These outbreaks that are now in Italy, Iran, South Korea, now growing in Spain, France, 419 new cases overnight in Spain, 881 new cases overnight in Iran, 194 new cases overnight in France. So they're saying it's slowing down in China, and I pray that it is. But whatever they're doing that's working, if it's working, they need to then share those resources with the rest of the world. Because the rest of the world right now is suffering from this. The economies are suffering. The stock markets are suffering. Stores are running out of supplies. We're running out of toilet paper. We're running out of food. Not everywhere, but some places. We need China to get back to work. The world needs China to be healthy. China is a world and superpower. They are better equipped to move past this, or as well equipped to move past this as anybody. They got more people than anybody else. They got very, very smart people there. Lots of resources, lots of technology. They were well equipped to handle this as well, if not better, than anybody. The third world countries that are in poverty, they're the ones that I'm really worried about. And we are now in 115 countries. I'm worried about everybody, but I'm really concerned about those. Look at Switzerland, 123 new cases in Switzerland. This is what I mean about this pandemic. when it spreads, and it does fast. And it's very difficult to contain. I believe this is the real reason why the markets are down. This is the real pressure that's on the markets. But as you can see now, the markets are bouncing back. The Dow Jones just hit 24,000. So the markets are bouncing back with some strength now. Max Power says Warren Buffett bought Boeing and ACB shares. Warren Buffett bought ACB shares? Peter Morley says Warren Buffett already sold majority of holdings. Look it up. Really? Michael York says bought MindMed at 33 cents. Alex Castillo says toilet paper 95% out at Walmart, Mississauga by Square One yesterday in Canada. Also heard in 2 Walmarts in Toronto, no toilet paper. This is in 115 countries now. We're in 115 countries. Look at all the countries. When I started reporting on this, we were in one country, China. We are now in 115 countries worldwide. Keo Cushion Trader says bought GW Pharma at 86.60. Wow, nice entry. Yeah, I don't think that there's any chance that Warren Buffett bought ACB. Look at all these countries now. So you could see 115 countries. So these are the latest updates as of today. 4 new deaths in South Korea, including a woman in her 50s, without underlying conditions. 1 new case in Croatia, a 40-year-old woman who worked at a boarding house in a ski resort in the Italian region of Alto Adige. I'm 42. That doesn't make me feel good. How can anybody be like, yeah, this is okay? One new case in Afghanistan, 2 new cases in Moldova, 194 new cases in France. We are at the very beginning of the epidemic, announces Emmanuel Macron. All matches in the French Ligue 1 and Ligue 2 football championships will be held behind closed doors until April 15th. That's 5 weeks. So they are now doing that in France and Italy. 1 new case in Brazil, a 60-year-old man. Wow. 1 new case in Malta, a 16-year-old daughter of the man who tested positive for the coronavirus yesterday after returning. So 16-year-olds are getting this. And people are saying they're not worried. Testing positive after being declared clear of the infection. Look at this. So they put you in quarantine. They sent people from Wuhan into Canada and all over the world, right? Well, guess what? What happens if it comes back? They quarantine those people for 14 days. They're fine. And all of a sudden it comes back. Look at this. Testing positive after being declared clear of the infection, a 31-year-old evacuee from the Diamond Princess cruise ship was first infected in February 18th while aboard, but later appeared to have recovered and tested negative on March 4th and 6th in Japan before returning to Hong Kong on March 7th. On March 9th, she was found to be still infected. Disease expert Dr. Joseph Zhang K. Yan said several reasons, such as sampling error and insufficiently sensitive tests, could have accounted for the woman's false negative results in Japan. Perhaps the swab was not done properly, or an antibody blood test was not done. In any case, she would have to be tested for a particular type of antibody 21 days after the diagnosis. before results can be conclusive that she was clear of the virus. He believes the woman was not infected, as her antibodies upon recovering would give her immunity for a period of time. 2 new cases in Hong Kong, 1 new case in Cambodia, 419 new cases, and 5 new deaths in Spain. Do you see how this is spreading everywhere? This is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is a very, very global problem. And some countries are going to handle this better than others. China may have been equipped to handle this better than anybody because of their power as a global power. What about the poor countries as they start dealing with this? How are they going to handle it? How are they going to deal with it? How will they be affected? It doesn't look to me like it's getting better. Look at those. Look at the deaths and look at the cases and look at the way that it's pointing up. This is what is affecting the markets, in my opinion. I didn't hear that Buffett is selling his stock, but anything is possible. The markets are coming back. Look at this. The markets are coming back. Dow Jones back over 24,000. Visa at $174. MasterCard at $267. Look at the all-time chart of MasterCard. MasterCard hasn't really had too many dips. It's just always been a very safe stock. This has been a big dip for them. Typically, after every dip, they've always recovered. I believe that very soon we're going to see an amazing buying opportunity for MasterCard. I'm not saying that we can't see stocks dip more. Because of this coronavirus, who knows what's going to happen? I'm just saying that there's going to be dips, and there's going to be buying opportunities, and then there's going to be corrections, and then stocks are going to go back up. Because that's just what they do. Buying opportunities are everywhere. Buying opportunities everywhere. So we've seen IIPR as high as 126 or so. And then we've seen them as low as 67. And then just recently we've seen them back over 107. And now they're back down to 82. Could go back down to maybe 60, 70 range as a buying opportunity. And then I think we see them go back to 100 plus. I know some people are buying GW Pharma. I'm a big fan of GW Pharma. FDA approval. $86 now. The lowest they have been in a very long time. Let's see here. And they were even lower. They're at 85 today. Historically, the lowest they've ever been, well, they've been down to $8 in 2013, but since 2000, let's just go back to really when they started. The last time they were down at these prices was around 2016. They actually got to $81 in 2016. Since then, the lowest they've been since 2018 was $96. They're right now at 87. So this might be an amazing buying opportunity for GW Pharma, just looking at the charts. But because of this coronavirus that I'm trying to explain to you guys, and the death toll and the cases surging. We don't know how it's going to affect the global economy yet. Nobody really truly knows, so be careful. Things could go lower. But I do believe this is signaling an amazing buying opportunity, and you will see that people will take these buying opportunities. Look at the Dow now. Look at this. It's surging. 358 points. 390 points all of a sudden. That's the quantitative easing kicking in. See that? That's them saying, okay, guys, it's down. Let's buy low. Kyokushin Trader, great buy, man. I like the way you're thinking, brother. I like the way you're thinking. Smart thinking. What else? Some of the cannabis stocks are actually having a good day today. Let's see. Aurora Cannabis is actually green, believe it or not. Aurora Cannabis is actually green, up 4%. Struggling with that $1 range. Canopy Growth up 6%. Amazing buying opportunity presented themselves for Canopy Growth. People are buying the dip. As you can see, Canopy Growth, if we go to the 1 year, that was a buying opportunity. The lowest it had been in a year. We just saw the bottom for Canopy Growth, and people are buying the dip. But will it be sustained? I mean, this is really the thing right now, is will they sustain these gains? Nobody's doubting the fact that they can get gains. Will it be sustained, or will this coronavirus continue to take the headlines and decimate the marketplace? You guys want to take a look at some stocks? Let's take a look at... Wow, the Dow is just climbing, guys. Let's take a look at some coronavirus stocks, because obviously they're probably going down right now because the market's up. So this one being shorted heavily, Inovio Pharmaceuticals. I've been talking about them since they were at $3. They went to 19 yesterday. Then Andrew left and Citron Research said they were going to go to 2. They should be halted, and that the investors had been warned, and now they have become a short. So they're down 23% today, Inovio Pharmaceuticals, despite the fact that they are looking and working on a quarantine for the American public. So be careful, guys. Be careful. What do I think of IBIO? Let's pull it up. I like IBIO. I bought it, I sold it, took my profits and ran. It's probably the best thing to do with these coronavirus stocks because they're going up and down with a lot of volatility. So when the market goes up, they tend to go down. Not all of them, but some of them for the most part as a sector. When the market goes down due to coronavirus fears, the coronavirus vaccine stocks tend to go up. As you can see right now, IBIO is going down. You know, I would be very careful with coronavirus stocks right now. We have no idea how these markets are going to affect the coronavirus stocks right now because they just had a big run. Now they're consolidating, which is going to trigger a buying opportunity. And I'm sure once there's more bad news on the coronavirus, you'll see that the market will go back down again and that the coronavirus stocks will scream. But it's not just IBIO. INO is down, IBIO is down, CODX is down after they screamed up. So these stocks are having massive volatility up and down. I mean, like it's crazy. Like look at CODX. I brought you guys CODX when it was at, I think it was $2 or $3. Look at this chart. Like it's crazy. CODX has been on some type of a weird tear. So they were as low as $1.15 January 21st. They went as high as over $20. They went, it's not showing here, but I know they hit over $20. Yeah, they hit $21.75. And right now they're at $6.55. So these markets are nuts. Highly volatile. Be extremely careful and very, very cautious with these coronavirus stocks because they are going up and down with a lot of violence. At some point, CODX will probably be a good buy again. But at what point? Right now, it's heavily being shorted, right? It's heavily aggressively going down. So all the pressure right now in coronavirus stocks is down, and it's all of them, pretty much. AIM was screaming yesterday. Let's look at them today. Down 28%. So this is a sector-wide phenomenon. They go up together and they go down together. They scream up to ridiculous levels, then they scream down. Nobody really knows where any of these things are going to trade. They're going to have big moves up and down, but you need to proceed with caution. You have to proceed with caution if you're going to play with these crazy stocks. Like, look at this. AIM is up 712% in the last year, 975% in the last 3 months. So if they go down 28% one day, they're still down 975% in the last 3 months, 316% up in the last month. So they're not down, people. Like, they're up. They're just down today. Even INO, they're still up. Huge. Look at this. INO is up 109% on the year, 126% year to date, 190% in the last 3 months, and 120% in the last month, and still up 0.27% in the last 5 days. So, even though these are coming down, they're still up. And that's what you have to really keep in mind. They're all still up. If you look at the 3-month chart, they're all still up. They're all up. So, they're very volatile. And even the biggest and the best ones, like Gilead Sciences, is up. I'm going to show you. It's down today, yes, but it's still up. 5% in the last 3 months, 4.8% in the last month, 9.63% in the last year. Still up, but in the last 5 days, it's down 4%. So a lot of these companies have made runs, but is this over? Is this over? So Algernon Pharmaceuticals, I brought you guys this pick. They've made a big run. But look, over the last year, down 21%. Year to date, because they've actually been a little bit higher. So you can see they've been higher, AGN, multiple times. They were as high last year as 41 cents. That's why I'm holding, because I think it could go higher. And you can see they made a run to 35 cents, but they've been as high as, in 2016, they were over 50 cents. So I think this thing can go higher, just based on the fact that this thing is just getting started. It did go as high as 24 cents today, but look, in the last 5 days, up 122%. In the last month, up 150%. In the last 3 months, up 233%. In the last year, up 263%. But from its highs in the last 12 months, still down. I think it could go higher. Look at the market cap. Only a 15 million market cap. 62 million shares in the float. I think it could go higher because this coronavirus, as far as I'm concerned, is just getting started. So they're going to have ups and downs. They're going to get shorted. They're going to get longed. They're going to raise money. People are going to take profits. So it's up to you to decide how you want to play it. It's very risky. Some of these I'm going to hold. Some of them I'm going to sell. You know, like if I see profits, usually I'm going to just take them. Wow. TNXP taking big shot on the chin today. Does anybody think this is a buying opportunity on TNXP? Just getting murked. Now, despite the fact that it's getting murked short term, it's still up 58% in the last month. So a lot of these have made big moves and now they're consolidating. Ritter Pharmaceuticals down 23%. So as you can see, but Ritter Pharmaceuticals is still up 63%. In the last 3 months, still up 48%. In the last month, still up 33%. So they're still up. They're all still up from when they started. They all made massive runs based on hype. Now they're consolidating down. Some people are going to think this is a buying opportunity. Some of them may continue to go down. But look at TOMI, TOMZ, still up 254% in the last year, 300% in the last 3 months, 21% in the last month. So they're coming back down. They're raising money. Some of the insiders are selling. There's a lot of different reasons why these stocks are going up and down. There's a lot of volatility in this sector. Crazy volatility. Let's look at gold stocks. Kinross Gold is down today. Barrick Gold is down today. So it might be a buying opportunity for gold stocks if you think that gold's going to go higher. MGM Resorts having a big day today. They seem to be getting pumped. They've been down big over the last year, over the last 3 months, and seems as though they're all of a sudden having a nice bounce. So is this quantitative easing? Are these companies that are just doing dead cat bounces? But there's some moves that are happening in these markets right now. I like Inovio Pharmaceuticals. At some point, I'm going to want to get in on this stock. I love the fact that there's only 101 million shares issued and outstanding, so it is a very tight flow. Very, very, very tight flow. 13% of the float is actually being shorted, so there's a lot of short pressure. This is why Inovio exploded right here on this news. Inovio shares rally after biotech says human trials of coronavirus vaccine will start in April. This is the reason why Inovio exploded. I think this is pretty good news. I mean, they're trying to help out Americans. You know, it's pretty sad that people are more concerned about the market than they are about health and safety of others. But we live in a world where it's just filled with greed. And let's take a look at Carnival Corp. Carnival Corp having a nice move. LNC. Lincoln National Corp is up 8.6% at $34. Wow, they've been taking a big hit. I really like the Valens company. I think this might be a really good price to get into Valens. I think there's a very good opportunity to make money here on Valens at these prices. You look at their history, you'll see that, yeah, they traded lower than this, but that's when they weren't public. And these are very close to the lows that they've ever been since they've been public over the last year. So they're approaching those bottoms, those dips. So I'm a big fan of Valens. I think the upside is tremendous for them. I also like MediPharm Labs a lot. Big fan of MediPharm Labs. been as high as, so the lowest it's been in the last year is 198, which it's right off that price, and the highest is 728. So just imagine getting in at $2 and it goes back to 7. You're going to triple your money, right? So I really like that. I really like that. I like their float, 112 million. I like MetaPharm Labs a lot. Aphria at 289. Wow, 289 for Aphria? Mind-boggling. So you can see the lowest they've been in the last year is 273, and the highest is 1067. So to buy Aphria right now at the lowest they've ever been, the upside is tremendous because we're talking about making, once again, about 300% for them to go back to those 52-week highs, which we have to believe at some point they will. But look, lots of short interest, 14% short interest, 33 million shorts. Wow. Out of 233 million shares, 33 million are shorted. The shorts are feasting off of the cannabis sector. Absolutely feasting off the cannabis sector. It's crazy. Air Canada, let's see. Air Canada at $30.91, down 36% in the last year. Literally at the lowest it's been. It's at the 52-week low. $30.45 was the 52-week low. 52-week high is $52.71. So definitely taking a huge hit. Definitely taking a huge hit. So airline stocks taking a huge hit. Will it continue? I believe it all comes down to this coronavirus. What will happen with this coronavirus? Will this get any better? Will there be a cure? Will there be a breakthrough? 115 countries. Jeff, I'll take a look at AYTU right now. Wow. 297% up today. It's just crazy, man. These are the types of moves I've been talking about. How these companies out of nowhere will just explode. Add AYTU to your watch list. Put it on your radar. Clearly, they are absolutely screaming. Wow. Take a look at the indicators in AYTU. Wow, AYTU is just screaming. But you know what's funny? This company has screamed before. So they just hit a bottom here. And the indicators are just screaming. Mind you, the RSI shows extremely overbought. So be careful. At some point there will be a trend reversal. But yeah, AYTU is just screaming. Absolutely screaming. Actually, the RSI doesn't even look that bad. Jeez. Wow. This might go higher. This might even go higher. The MACD is starting to come down. But the RSI was overbought up there around 150 range. Yeah, right here. And then it started to come down. I think this could make another turn here, another move on the way up. Because it's just circulating and people are hearing about it, but you never know. They have the fastest test. Yeah, see, it's climbing. 141, 142, 143. See what I tell you? Indicators are telling me that it's going to go up. 310%. Wow. Holy moly. Wow. Oh, wow. It's going up right in front of our faces. Yeah, 144. There it goes. 145. Wow. It's crazy, man. Anybody that got into this bad boy. 147. 146. Wow. 147. This thing is just screaming. $148, $149. It's got to learn how to use your indicators, guys. I just called it. It was going to go up. And bam, there it goes. Look at this one. Moxian. M-O-X-C. They're having a day. Just screaming. Careful with this. I wouldn't chase this because like the MACD is pointing up, which is good, but this RSI is really, really high, which means it's overbought. Anything over 70 is overbought, and anything under 30 is oversold. So this is kind of scary time for this stock. Sona Nanotech is another company that has a coronavirus. NVAX seems to be climbing here. NVAX is up 6%. Amazon is up today. What about Tesla? Isn't Tesla up today? Tesla was up really big, but it's kind of came back down. It came down and now it's kind of coming back up again. Twitter seems to be gaining some momentum right now. What else, guys? Are there any other stocks you want me to pull up? Yeah, those rapid tests, Jeff. AYTU Biosciences secures exclusive U.S. distribution agreement for coronavirus 2019 COVID-19 point-of-care rapid test. Yeah, it's big. Everybody's rushing to bring those tests, right? Everybody wants to be the one that brings the cure or some type of pick and shovel play when it comes to the coronavirus. Everybody wants to be getting a piece of that action. Google's up today. Facebook's up today, but slightly. EDC. Some unbelievable buying opportunities happening right now here. Yeah, I think they're really pumping up these airlines, and Carnival Cruise seems to be like the ones that are taking advantage of this a lot today. Some of these moves have been short lived because a lot of them have come back. A couple of stocks are doing really, really well, but for the most part, wow. You kidding me? AYTU is just screaming right now. Up 342%. Wow. Michelle Clark says, I heard today that many have already made fortunes on coronavirus. Yeah, I mean, anybody who got in early has made it big, but I think we're still early. I still think we're early. I mean, they don't have a cure last time I looked. Canopy Growth is screaming, guys. Up 6% today. Teladoc Health coming back up. Health stocks. TDoc, Teladoc Health, they've been holding up. Look at this. Over the last month or so while everyone else is falling, these guys are holding strong. Very strong. They did have a dip. They went as low as $105, and then now they've just coming right back up. And what they provide is the ability for you to call a physician over the phone and get health services from the phone or from the internet, as opposed to actually physically having to go to a hospital. And I think because of the coronavirus, this is one of the companies that's going to benefit the greatest. And that's why they've been holding out their price at 137 very, very strong. Wow. So this is one that I got into last year called Zoomaway Travel with our community. And I remember I first got in at 2 cents. This thing went to 14 cents. And it's pretty crazy because right now they're back to 3.5 cents. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting very interested about getting in. Maybe just pick up like 100,000 shares. I'd like to get in cheaper if I can. Obviously, it might go to 2 cents, but this might also be at the bottom because this is the lowest it's been in a really long time. In a really long time. So, see right here, the RSI, this is highly oversold. It's highly oversold. It's under 30. So when the RSI is under 30, it's oversold. When it's over 70, it's overbought. It's highly oversold right now. So I'm starting to think that 3.5 cents is a good price. But you never know. You just never know. Can't guarantee anything. Michelle Clark says, I think Donald Trump has a press conference today about what stimulus packages will be worked on. It should be very, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, when Trump speaks, it's always interesting. That's for sure. It's always interesting when Trump speaks. Imagination Park is another one that I brought to the community first when it was at like a penny and a half, 2 cents. Now at 3.5 cents. It seems to make these interesting moves, and it's been as high as 10 cents. Wow, AYTU is killing it. Oh my goodness. AYTU is just killing it. Okay, now the RSI is getting to oversold territory. So be very careful of a trend reversal. But it just screamed up to 169, up 380%. Oh my goodness. 170. Oh, screaming. RSI is really high though. Wow, it's just pointed right up. 171. Wow. 172. We're going to 400%. 174. We're going to 400% up. Wow. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Yeah, this is the first I've even heard of this company. I know about it now. Never heard of AYTU before. I mean, this is the crazy thing about these markets. You just never know when something could make a big move. You never know. That's why you just always have to be prepared. Follow your gut, do a lot of research, and invest in the best companies. So many out there. You never know when one's going to explode. And right now, AYTU is exploding. Wow. Holy smokes. They don't care what the RSI says. Wow, the RSI is way overbought. But it's still screaming. Looks like it's about to go to 180. Yeah, 180. Here we go. We just went from 140 to 180. So many companies, man, to read up on. Wow, 182. Huh. Wow. AYTU is on a tear. Absolutely on a tear. Oh, there it's starting to come back down. The RSI was overbought, and now it's going to start coming back down. Showing overbought on the RSI, relative strength index. Let's see if it just does a little pullback and then just screens back up. So as you can see, Microsoft is up 3% today. And Apple is up 3% today. Now remember, everything is up big, right? Like you can see Apple is still up really big in the last year. So these could definitely come back down. But I just believe there's so much power and strength with quantitative easing and all the wealthy on the sidelines with cash that every time these big companies drop, there could be a buying opportunity because these companies have done extremely well and the market's been really, really hot. So now that the coronavirus fears have escalated to this point, now the market is finally starting to be affected by it. But the markets are a war zone right now. Two epidemics combined to make this a dangerous time for a stock market, global prize economist warns. Yeah, I could have told you that. Coronavirus and the oil war. Let's see. Let's see. What we have now is really two epidemics. We have an epidemic of the coronavirus, but we also have an epidemic of fear based around a narrative that is not necessarily keeping up with scientific reality. And this narrative has been quite striking. It's a dangerous time for the stock market. So a lot of people are saying it's very likely we're going to have a recession. Well, if you wanted to travel, now's the time to travel. It's really cheap. It's put your life at risk, but travel for cheap. I mean, it's kind of nuts, right? Like, wow, MGM is screaming. So is OXY. Yeah, MGM is up 9%. Wow. Just screaming. It looks healthy too. Looks like it's going to go higher. OXY is screaming. Occidental. VIR down 28% today. So pretty much all the coronavirus stocks, not all, but a lot of them are really going down hard today. Some of the ones that did extremely well are now taking a massive dip, heavily getting shorted. Except for these guys. Holy moly, AYTU just keeps going, now up 451%, despite the fact that the RSI is at 80%. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Wow, they're just screaming. They're just screaming. Unbelievable. I don't see it moving. Is it halted? It might have got halted. Oh man, crazy. Yeah, Jeff, this one's crazy. I like stocks that move. But yeah, this one's, I think it's halted. Stop moving. Very interesting day in the markets. Very, very interesting day in the markets. Okay, AYTU is starting to come down. See, the RSI was too high. It had to come down. Now, AIM screamed yesterday, and today they are coming down. So, stocks are going to make runs up and down. The key is, what is your strategy when trading, and how do you deal with the ups and downs? You know, AGN, I was up on this big yesterday. I could have sold, I didn't. Then it came back down today. Wow. Went all the way to 16 cents today? I didn't even see that. So yeah, it went down to 16 cents today, and now it's starting to come all the way back up. It's not overbought on the RSI yet. Once it gets over 70, then it would be overbought. But it's definitely, it was a buying opportunity, as you can see here. It was oversold. That was the signal to buy when it hit 16 cents. Great entry point, and now it's starting to climb up again from there. Another company with a coronavirus vaccine. I do own this company. I am up on this right now, but I want to hold it because I think it could go higher. Michelle Clark says, I heard some customers may bring lawsuits against some cruise ships for negligence regarding what the ships knew about the virus. I think that there's always a possibility of that. Absolutely, in a situation like this. There's always a possibility of that in a situation like this. Wow, OXY and MGM are screaming. Holy moly. Wow, OXI is flying, guys. OXY is absolutely flying, and so is MGM. MGM up 10%, absolutely screaming. And I said to you just like not too long ago that it looks like it's going to go higher, and it's definitely going higher. Let's look at Baby. Baby seems to be coming up from a bottom. Baby went all the way down to 75. Yeah, they went to 75, and now they're back up to 84. Yeah, look at that. You can see that dip. They were oversold. Boom, buying opportunity. Signal to buy, starting to come up now. Signal to buy, starting to come up now. I think this company has a lot of potential. But like everybody else, they've come down because of the fears of the coronavirus and how that's affecting and weighing on investors' minds, which clearly is having a big effect on everybody because we see a lot of volatility in the market. NOVN is screaming. Wow. NOVN is screaming. Now careful on the RSI, they are overbought. You wanted to get in early before this huge explosion. But you see how these stocks make these crazy sneak attack moves? It's a sneak attack right here, NOVN. Complete sneak attack. When you least expect it is when it makes its move. It looks like it's going to go higher. It's got a lot of power right now. Wow. Even though the indicator is overbought, still looks like it could go higher. We'll see. It does look overbought to me, but it's just screaming, so we're going to see this. What happens here? Sometimes it just keeps going for a little bit longer. But at some point, you're going to see this turn. It'll come down. Maybe now, 69, 68. 69, 69.50. It's got a lot of power right now. NOVN seems to be screaming. Back to 70. Hey, I appreciate you, Michelle. Thank you. Oh, wow, Jeff. I hope your daughter's going to be okay, buddy. That's crazy, man. Better be safe than sorry. I like gold. I like gold stocks. THC and HCA. Tenet Healthcare. I have to look into them. Learn more about them. HCA Healthcare. Thank you for the picks. I'll have to definitely look into both of them. I'm not familiar with either of them. Looks like AYTU is going on another run here. This thing just wants to keep screaming. Yeah, the RSI dropped down, and now it's starting to come back up again. Interesting. Up 400%. Wow. That's crazy. Look at it screaming up now again. 440%. Wow. This is impressive. And because the RSI actually isn't at 70 yet, this could go higher now. Wow. 191. Let's see how high it goes. The high of the day is 195. This is about to go to $2. Let me predict it's going to hit $2. Let's go. Let's see. 195. Let's see. 196. Let's go. Will it hit $2? You're almost at $2. Will you hit $2? Why is it stuck at 196? AEY, another one that's a 5G stock that I've been talking to you guys about. They're at a good price right now, I think. They've been much higher recently. They've been as high as $6, now at 287. It's the lowest it's been on for quite some time. Lowest it's been for quite some time. I think the upside here is tremendous. Yeah, I think that there's a very high likelihood that we could see AEY go back up to $6. And for them to go back to $6, it would be a huge. You make about 100% on your money. You'd make about 100% at 585. You'd make 50% of your money at 432. So there's a very good likelihood that's going to happen. As you can see here, we just hit the, right here on the RSI, we just hit oversold. And then now we're seeing a jump up 6%. So the RSI is a very effective indicator. Told us we were oversold because under 30 is oversold, over 70 is overbought. You could see here it was overbought and then it came down. Now it's oversold and it's coming back up. See that? I don't know why AYTU just stopped at 196 and maybe it's been halted. This just been screaming, so it's probably got halted. It was nice while it lasted. I was going to see that go to $2 just on momentum. And it literally just got halted. Wow, TDOC. TDOC is still going now to $139. And the RSI is not overbought. It's approaching it, but it's not there yet. So I feel like this is just going to continue with these guys. These guys are just such a monster. Hit $145 today. Wow. And what is their year high? Yeah, around 145 is the all-time high. Tesla is showing signs of life. When will be a good buy for Tesla? This stock has been a screamer, went as high as $969, $968.99. Now it's $635. Is this the time to get into Tesla, or do you think it goes any lower? Hey man, it's all good. Let her work from home, brother. Like I said, better be safe than sorry. I'm happy she doesn't have it. It's a good boss to tell people to work from home right now. Especially if you can work from home right now. It's a much better idea to do that. Oh, there it is. AYTU. What did I tell you guys? It just broke 205. Wow. 208. Wow. Now the RSI is well over 70. So at some point it's going to come down here, but it's screaming. Oh, there it goes back down. Wow. 208, 205, 204. This thing's going nutty. This thing's going nutty. Yeah, the RSI is now overbought. So be careful. I wouldn't chase this at 205, but this thing is just a screamer. 477%. I told you guys it was going above $2. Just reading the indicators, guys. But now it's overbought. So at some point you're going to see it. Oh, there it is. Now it's back under 2. See that? The RSI was saying it was overbought. And that's what it is. Now it's back to 197, 195, 191, 197, 190, 192. So it seems to be getting resistance around $2. Yeah, I love T-Doc too, man. Teladoc Health, man. Brilliant. Medical services from home. Troy Welsh says, Rich took my first position in Afria at 392 today. Hey, thank you for being a member, Troy. And I think that that's a very good entry in Afria. Wow, look at AYTU. It's flying again. Oh my goodness. 212. 213. Up 500%. Oh my. Wow, it's officially up 5. Wow. It's getting a lot of resistance. Holy smokes. Wow. What is this thing? 503% right now. My goodness. Wow, it's still going. 517% in a day? I can't remember the last time I seen a company go up 500% in a day. This is pretty impressive. What a move. From pennies to dollars in one day. Wow. That's incredible. Wow. AYTU is just screaming 532%. Oh my goodness. Wow. Unbelievable move for AYTU. The biggest mover that I can think of over the last, I can't remember the last time a stock moved 500% in a day that I've seen. This thing's just gone bonkers. It's up $1.84 today. Started the day at like 40 cents. It did open up to $1.30 right on the open. So one of these coronavirus stocks, guys. Jeff Nowak says, AYTU, a gift to the community as it hit 213. Hey, Jeff, man, it's still going, buddy. It's at 222, up 540%. Oh my goodness. Wow. Unbelievable. Troy Welsh says, I grabbed Xena today too. Jeff says, with Xena, watch out. Yeah, I mean, some people are buying these dips. Some people think it's a good buy. Some people think it's going to go bankrupt. So be very careful with Xena. It's 7.5 cents right now. Very, very careful with them. But AYTU, my goodness. My goodness. We just watched them go from $1.40 to $2.23 since we've been live. It's just been climbing since we've been live. Wow. What about T-Dog? T-Dog keeps going up too while we're live. Now at $140. Screaming. Up 5%. Troy Welsh says, I agree, but 22 million market cap, couldn't let it slide. Yeah, I'm just saying that it could go bankrupt, so be careful. I don't want to see anybody lose money or any more money because that company's already taken everybody's money, including mine, like $46,000 of it. So I pray that they go back up. I want them to go back up to $1 so that all of us can at least get out, break even, or with a little bit of profit. Because I know a lot of us have lowered our cost to like under $1 now because it's so cheap, but oh man, at 7.5 cents, it's just such a joke. It needs to go higher, and it's not. So even on a day like today where cannabis stocks are going up, Zenabis is not. What does that tell you about Zenabis? It's a big problem. Troy Welsh says, bought MedMed at 42, MMED at 42. I think next big move coming. Yeah, I think it's very possible. MMED having a nice day, up 10% today, currently at 49 cents. I did a video on them yesterday. Very happy to see them up today. Oh, the market is green, so this is good. This is good. When I started this video, we were red, and now we are green again. So this is good. I hope we stay in the green. Thank you guys for watching. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. I'll come back if there's any other big news or anything that's trending. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining. Hopefully we finish off in the green today. And just so you know what is on fire, AYTU right now is the hottest stock of the day, up 540%, brought to us by Jeff Nowak. Thank you, Jeff. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm out. Peace. Wow, Dow Jones up 405 points, 417 points. Let's go. Screaming. That's what we need. We need a revival. Revival of the markets.